Here we go. Today we're going to be looking at Phantom Nightmare. Kind of trying to figure out what cards should we be targeting in this set early on. And by early on, I mean this week all the way till day of release and through the weekend. That's kind of the early part. That's what we're going to be looking at. What cards should we be targeting because they might actually be going up? So before I jump into those cards, though, I do want you to know it's kind of cool. We are approaching our 1-year anniversary on YouTube. Our first video was a case opening of Photon Hypernova 1 year ago, February 8th. That's our anniversary. Unfortunately, this year on the 8th, it's a Thursday, and that's when I play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I won't be able to get a video up that day. But on Friday, this Friday coming up, we're going to be doing a special giveaway in honor of our 1-year anniversary on YouTube. And I just want to thank you all. You all have made this a really fun ride, an enjoyable time for me and my son. And it's just been a blessing. So thank you all for all the love and support over this last year. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do a pretty nice giveaway on the 9th of February for our 1 year. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of the community, as well as the like button. It does help on YouTube. All right, so let me bring you over to Gamer's Choice. We're going to be looking at Phantom Nightmare, trying to figure out what cards should we be targeting. So let's head on over there. All right, so there's cards and then there's deck cores, and the deck cores are, there's some really nice deck cores in here. The Voiceless Voice, I think, is going to be pretty good. It is kind of expensive. So, I'm not really saying that you need to run out and target that. But there are some deck cores in here that I think you should be targeting because there's a chance that they're going to go up. And the first one that I think you should be targeting is Goatee. You can pick this up for $8. Now, I would be watching it, seeing if it falls down. But if you start seeing that this deck core is going up, I would not hesitate to pull the trigger on this deck core. They're supers. They shouldn't be expensive, but people are very interested in Goatee. It seems to be doing something in the OCG, could be doing something in the TCG. I would definitely be keeping my eye on the Goatee deck core. The other deck core that I would be keeping an eye on is, where did it go? Right there, the first one, YUGIOH. I have had so many people send me messages about the YUGIOH deck core, ask me about it, ask if I have cards for it. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of interest in this deck core. You can pick this, you could have picked this deck core up for about $25. I think that it's going for about $30 right now. You might be able to still find it for $25. It's not a bad buy, and I think there's a chance that this goes up. YUGIOH is going to get further support, I believe, in the next set. So it's going to keep on going and going. This is something people are really interested in. So I would be keeping an eye on YUGIOH. And I would make sure that if you want to play this or you just want these cards, I would make sure that you get these pretty early on. And what you generally see is that cards start coming down in price right about now. And they'll be coming down in price all the way till day of release. But every so often, you'll start seeing cards spiking up during this time period. So just be aware of that. that you could see some of these cards spiking up before day of release. So I would keep an eye on YUGIOH as well. And just so you all know, you all know I sell pre-sales on eBay. We're sold out of all these cards. We're sold out of the goatee. We're sold out of the YUGIOH. I'm not telling you to buy these because I want you to buy cards from me. Like, our cards are gone, and they've been gone. Honestly, YUGIOH and goatee are two decks that I would be keeping an eye on. The last one that I want to talk about is Raid Raptor. There are people that just love Raid Raptor. They got a 13-star monster in here, which is really, really cool. I would not be surprised if Raid Raptor starts moving as well. It's $15 on Gamer's Choice. They still have it. If you want it, now's not a bad time to pick it up. It might go down even further. So just keep an eye on that. The rest of them, you know what to do. Alright, so if you move on from there, you get into the secret rares down here. There's a couple secret rares that I think will fall out nicely, and when they do, that's when I would pick them up. And it might be day of release, but I could see these cards falling right now and then quickly getting that hook where it goes back up. And the first one is Iron Thunder. I would be targeting this card around $5 to $7. If this card hits $5 to $7, I think it's a great buy at $5 to $7. It's not a bad buy at 10. It's an interesting card, but I would really be targeting this around $5 to $7, ideally $5. It is a secret rare. That keeps the price of the card up a little bit higher, but this is a card that could easily start going up. The next card that I want to look at is the Mudomorphosis. This is another card that's at $10. I would not necessarily be targeting it at $10, but again, $5 to $7 I think is a nice price on this, and you may see this card grab a little hook pretty early on. Something in here in the secret rare department is going to go up, and it's probably not going to be low because low's already at $60. But something in here is going to go up. I'm betting it's not going to be the goblins. I don't think that it's going to be the Horus card or the Pack Bit. So my money is on the Black Goat Laughs. That card could go higher. $20 I think is pretty high on the card already. So my money is on Iron Thunder or Mudomorphosis. That's what I am looking at as far as cards that I think could, in the secret rare area, start going up. So you move over to the Ultras. There's at least one Ultra that I do want to talk about, and it's right here at the top, the Psychic Processor. I've heard some people talking about this card, and they really like this card. I had a guy come through. We hadn't sold any of these, and I had a guy come through and just wipe me completely out. Bought all of them. They're all gone. And one person came in, bought them all. I could list some more because we're probably going to have some more, but I'm going to let it sit at that because I do think that this card could, if there is some interest in this card, could start going up. Mine were more than this. Mine were more than $3. I think mine were $4 to $5, something like that. And he just bought them all. I have heard people talking about this card in different decks. This is a pretty good card. When you read it, I think it sounds better than what it actually is when you would play it, because I can't imagine this card being as good in real life play as it is when you read it, because it's an amazing card when you read it. So this is definitely a card I would be looking at for trades. Have people throw it in on a trade. If you pull it, I would keep it. things like that. I wouldn't necessarily be running out and buying this card, but I would be making sure that if I had it, I would be keeping it, or at least asking for a decent price on it. Psychic Processor, pretty interesting card. We did pull the quarter century on this, and I was kind of disappointed when we did, because it's got to be one of the worst ones, but that's kind of where that is. All right. And then in the, let me just move down. Now, I think that's the only Ultra that I had. I've talked about the Raid Raptor card already. I think this Raid Raptor card is not a bad buy. And if you look at what happened on Gamer's Choice, what sold out in the Ultras? The Princess, which we knew. Poppy, which we knew those were going to happen. But you come down here, the only other thing that sold out is YUGIOH and the Raid Raptor card. So, again, what people are buying seems to line up with what I'm sharing with you. It's what I've experienced as a seller. It's what you can see from other people and their sales. Raid Raptors, Goatee, YUGIOH, and the Fire stuff. That is the stuff that is moving from this set early on. And you could start seeing some spikes in prices. Something's going to spike in here. You know it. You go back to, I think it was Dolus Nexus with the Chimera stuff. You remember that? Nobody saw that coming. And everybody was stunned. Oh my gosh, this is Barat. What happened? And then you go back again with the Unchained. Again, I was selling that Unchained whole core for $15. The whole core. All of a sudden, that thing gets bought out. I'm telling you, something in here is going to get bought out. Something in here is going to start moving pretty early on. If you want these cards, these are the cards that I think are the best bet for that to happen. The last card I want to talk about is a card I mentioned on a previous video. It's a super rare. It should be pretty cheap. But this Emissary of House of Wax, or from the House of Wax, is a really cool card. I absolutely love the art of this card, but it's a cool card in play as well. I'm not saying it's going to break the meta, it's going to do anything amazing, but it is an interesting card. And again, the same thing I said with the Psychic Processor, I'm saying here. If you pull it, I would just make sure that you have a playset of it. If you're making trades and somebody has this, just have them throw it in on the trade. This is just a card that I would make sure that I have a playset of. It is an illusionist monster, which is a new archetype or a new category in new type in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, you know, cards like this, you never know. I would make sure that you have it. Those are the cards that I'm primarily looking at. Now, obviously, I didn't mention Poppy, and I didn't mention the Princess, and I didn't mention Low. You all know those cards. Everybody knows those cards. I'm talking about the cards that are kind of under the radar, that people aren't necessarily talking about. Which one of those cards are going to start going up? These are all pretty easy cards for you to grab and have. I would be making sure to get them as Phantom Nightmare approaches. Again, my name is Todd from Ko2 Cards, and I am out of here.